Hi guys, so I'm live right now. Yeah, this season has been very stressful, and I've not been able to do a lot of recording. There's a lot going on with my family, myself. I'm in the interview season right now, so it's a lot to focus on. So in this video, what I'm going to talk about is things that I have noticed that I should have done when I was prepping for step one and step two. um, there are a lot of things I should have done to get ready for a residency application, because by the time I wrote my exam, it was on August 30th, and already errors had opened, and applications were supposed to be submitted by 28th September, and I got my results on 14th September. So I only had 2 weeks to work on a lot of stuff. So in this video, what I'm going to share with you is things that I think you should be working on whilst prepping for step one and step two, so that during your application for residency, things are easier for you. By the time you finish your exam, you would have gotten most things ready, and you don't want to like finish your exams before looking for some information. So in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The first thing I want to talk about is, first of all, you need to think about pathways, because we have several pathways for qualification for ECFMG certification. So you need to think about which pathway that you are going to use and get ready for it. So in these pathways, for example, in pathway 6, you will need 3 doctors to assess you according to an assessment criteria that is sent by ECFMG to them. So you get these 3 doctors, and come to think of it, it's difficult for some students, especially when you're an IMG that has just immigrated to the US and you don't know any doctor. Most doctors are laid back and they are not willing to help. They only want to help you if they know you. So during your during your studies for step one and step two, you need to be making this kind of connections with some doctors that can help you, for your pathway application. Also, if you are going to apply for pathway 1, for example, then you have to think of your board, how to get your license from your board to show ECFMG and all that. So one of the main things that you want to be doing whilst you're studying for step 1 and step 2 is to be thinking about the pathways. You can go to the ECFMG website and think about the pathway. Also, the pathways cost about $960 something. So you want to also save money for that. You don't want to finish step 1, step 2, and you don't have money for the pathway. So it's something that you also have to think about. So if you are just joining me, may I know where you are joining me from? Just type in the comment for me, in the comment box, where you are joining me from. What step are you prepping for? What step are you prepping for? I'm sorry, a call came in. Let me put this on do not disturb. So if you are just joining me, let me know where you are calling from, and sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so confused right now. So let me know where you are listening to me from, where you are watching from. And so in this video, what I'm doing is that I want to tell you guys certain things that you should get ready whilst you're studying for USMLE step 1 and step 2. You don't want to finish, get your results before thinking about residency application. There are certain things that you can be doing whilst prepping for step 1 and step 2, and these things wouldn't really take so much of your time. Just getting the information down and knowing how to go about it, and that would really help you and save you time, so that even if you write your exam and then you have 2 weeks to submit your application, you can still be able to do it. Yeah. So a question is coming here for pathway 6. do you need doctors from any specialty? So they usually don't want specialty doctors. They want general practice. They don't want subspecialty. They want general practice. So any doctor who is a hospitalist at least can do it for you. Endocrinologist can do it for you. You can also use um, doctors who have their own private practice, mostly because going to the hospitals is kind of difficult. You can do this from your home country or any country. For mine, I think I got two doctors who are internists. One is a hospitalist, and one is an internist also. And then one also is a family practice doctor. So they did the pathway 6 for me. So there are several pathways. You need to know which pathway you are going to do, which pathway you are going to use. So start researching all these things whilst you are studying for step 1 and step 2, and have them listed in a place that you can easily refer to. I hope that answers your question, Emma. Let me project your answer, your question here. This is your question for pathway 6. Do you need doctors from any specialty? So yes, internal medicine in general practice is okay. Family doctors can do it for you, but they don't want subspecialty like cardiologists and those things. They don't want that. Yeah. Now, I finished talking about specialty. Okay, another question is here. Let's see. So I'm from Dominican Republic and I always follow you live. You're welcome, Dimitri. Yes. So in this video, I'm talking about the things that you should be getting ready. There are certain things that you should be getting ready, certain information that you should put down while studying for step 1 and step 2, so that when you finish, you can be able to apply for your residency without so much difficulties. Like you are ready, you are ready to apply. The next thing, after talking about the pathways, the next thing that I want to talk about is you also want to connect with some residents. Let's say you want to go to a certain program and some residents from there. Let's say residents from your former school, residents from your country who are in that program. Then you want to start researching. You want to start researching about the program, and also linking up with these residents so they can tell you good things about the program and why you should come there, and you see whether it fits for you. Also, you can create LinkedIn account. Those who don't have it, you can create LinkedIn account, and over there you can find doctors and residents all over the programs. Just search for the program and or the hospital name, and then the residents who are there will pop up on LinkedIn, and then you can link up with them and start talking with them. So these are some of the things that you should start doing whilst you are prepping for step. Some can even help you with the steps, like they can give you advice on what to do. They can share their notes with you. They can share their experiences with you. So during step 1 and step 2, another thing to do is to connect with residents who are already in programs that you are interested within. And then some can also help you with recommendations. They can recommend you to their programs that, hey, I have this person who is very good and I wish you could offer him an interview. And some people get their interviews through recommendations. um Next thing that you should also work on is, okay, let's see this. Before I go to the next thing, let me see this, Dimitri. I'm currently waiting for Pathway 1 certificate. Do you think I can get some interviews for the main match if I apply mid-January? It's mid-January. It's possible. It's possible, most especially if you have green card or passport, which I'm going to talk about. But it is possible that your chances are brighter if you have the green card and passport. If not, then you have to strategically apply, or if you know someone in any program and you talk to them. And maybe there's also SOAP that is going to come on, where the programs that were not filled up, they'll want more people. So yes, if you apply, you can still get. Yeah. Yeah. So after talking about, I hope that answers your question. You can apply for you can if your pathway is approved, yeah, you can apply for residency without getting the certificate in your hands. The only thing you cannot do without the certificate is you cannot apply for the step 3 if you don't have the ECFMG certificate at hand. So if you don't have it and your pathway has been approved, you can go ahead and apply for residency, right? I hope that answers your question. Next one is, can you please give me a study plan for step 1? How long did you study and what materials, please? So in this video, we are not really going into step 1, like the study plan. I have made several videos about it, like what to do and what I did. You know, in a separate video, I can talk about it. For study materials, there are a lot of them. World First Hepatoma, I've done videos on it. Check my channel on things that you should do, like how you should use the resources, and it should work out for you. But in this video, what I'm talking about is that, sometimes when we are studying for step 1 and step 2, our attention is only on those steps, but we can be doing certain things so that during residency application would have been ready. And I've talked about finding out which pathway that you qualify for. Go to ECFMG website, which pathway you qualify for, and then start working towards it. Start connecting with doctors if you will need doctors um, to to assess you. If you also need pathway 1, then you also want to find out the requirements. Very important. You don't want to do that in the last minute. You might not be able to get it. Also connect with residents from LinkedIn is one place that I've seen a lot of residents. You can connect with them from there. You can also go to the programs that you wish to apply for and look at their residents list. And when you see their name, then you look for them on LinkedIn, and that's how you connect with them. And some people get their interviews through recommendations. So you want to also do that. Now, next thing I want to talk about is visa, green card, and then passport. So I've listened to several program directors, and one thing that they look out for first is they look at the step score. They look at your step score, and the next thing is they want to look at their citizens first. Then they look at citizens who schooled in the United States. They look at citizens who schooled in the Caribbean, because these people have abundance of US clinical experience. So if you listen to the program directors, that's what they say. So after that, before they look at the green card holders, and some programs also don't really mind about these things, but I bet you it's going to increase your chances of getting residency program. So if you are studying for USMLE step 1, step 2, or you are now beginning to study for it, or you are now planning, then also think about, how can I get the green card? How can I get the visa? How can I get the passport? If possible, there are things that you should be working on. Okay, if you are someone who has a green card and you qualify for citizenship, then and you better apply for it earlier, because the citizenship takes priority over the green card. So there are things that you want to look at. Let's look at this. Farouk Ahmad. Can someone work in Dubai with step 1 and step 2? Which countries are accepting? I've made a video on this. Yeah, most of the Middle East countries, Dubai, Qatar, I think some, yeah, people can work with it. Yeah, you are accepted into residency there, and then you are trained. So yes, I've made a video on that. And for those who couldn't match, say they've passed the steps and then but for some reason they couldn't match, they can still go to Middle Eastern countries, and you make good amounts of money over there. I have a separate video on that. You can check my channel for that. Now let's go back to Let's go back to our topic. We are talking about things that you should be prepping for, things that you should be getting ready towards residency application, so that when you finish your steps, like things are not difficult for you. So next thing is, you are thinking about your letters of recommendation, LORs. Most programs want 3 letters of recommendation from board certified physicians, and most of them, they want them from like a recognized program, like a teaching hospital, where a program director is giving a recommendation, it's going to be very strong. So think about these letters of recommendation. If it's from your home country, you want to also think about it. Find the doctors who will write it for you. Start impressing, impressing the doctors, so that when they're about to write it for you, they know you already. Start making those connections. Start telling the doctors that, hey, I'm doing this and I will need you to write a letter of recommendation for me, and yeah, this is one. Also, another important thing is the US clinical experience. So mostly they want the US clinical experience, and even though you can also use your home country clinical experience, I know most IMGs who just come here for US clinical experience. There are many ways, find ways of coming to the US to do the US clinical experience. People have different means of getting the visa to come and do it. And mostly, if you get a letter from the program here, if you email a hospital that you want to do a clinical experience, or a clinic, and they give you a letter, mostly they're able to give you the visa to come around. There are also some a research symposium that goes on. So if you can also have research publications, and then you are coming to present at conferences here, then the conferences can also give you some letters, so that you go to the embassy for your visa. So these are the ways that you can also explore that I know of. Let's answer some questions, then we'll come to the topic of research, because research and publications also play a role in residency application. And yeah, so let's see the next question. You have a question here. So if you are just joining us, what I'm talking about is, whilst you are studying for step 1 and step 2, eventually you are going to apply for residency, but sometimes we finish before we start the residency application. But I want you to know that you can get certain things ready whilst prepping for step 1 and step 2. Let's see this question. I have a question. Is this a bad time? No, just type your question. Okay, let's see. Um, um, well, you can see my Instagram down there. Is my Instagram ID is rolling down there. It's best for me. It's best for me if you can follow me on Instagram. Is that okay? It's not. Would that work for you? Let me know. Okay. Yeah, let me know if the Instagram will work for you. You can. Okay. Do you see my Instagram ID there? Let me see if I can see it here. Is your staff being stretched too thin? Sorry, just let me know if you don't use Instagram. Okay. All right. Yes, I can put my number down there for you. Let me see. Because this time is really, put my number down there. Usually I don't put it down there, but I can put it down there for you. Yeah. So that's my number there if you want to. Also, I can share the link with you so that you ask the questions directly. You can also you can join me live and ask your questions. just click on the link and then we can discuss them here. But if you can keep your well, I don't have a Facebook account. I don't have a Facebook account, so um, I mean I have one, but it's for just studies. I don't even remember the ID. So yeah, so my number is there. You can also join live, and I'll let you talk live. Um, Now let's go back and look at some other questions. This You say, what pathway is suitable for a person that graduated from med school in foreign country but did not practice medicine in that country? I mean, also in such a situation, I did not practice medicine in my country. I graduated and I moved straight to the US. But because it depends on a year of graduation, I had graduated. My YOG is 3 years, so I did pathway 6. If your YOG is less than 3 years, you will do a different pathway. So I hope that answers your question. Now let's see next question. What to do if you have an attempt on step 2 CK and 210 to be precise on step 2 CK. So if you got a 210 on step 2 CK, it isn't a bad thing, you know. The only thing is that some programs 210 210 is not a pass, of course. It's not a pass, because the pass mark is 214. So for me, of course you're not going to apply with that. You will have to resit, you have to resit for it. But if you have an attempt and then you resit and you pass, you want to do other things that will increase your chance of matching. One most important thing I would suggest is, when you are applying for residency, there is an app called Match a Resident. Match a Resident. There's an app. You pay for that app. I paid $100 for that, and then you put your credentials in the app, and it will tell you which programs will accept you. So that if the program says I'm not accepting students that have 2 attempts on steps, then you don't want to apply to that program, because if you do that, they are going to filter you out. So you want to apply strategically, and that's what I'll tell you. So Match a Resident, I can put it down here. It's called Match. I'm not marketing for them, but they were very helpful. They helped me to get a couple of interviews. So I think if I didn't use it, I would have just applied blindly. So it's called Match a Resident. Yeah, there's the name of the app. It's called Match a Resident. So if you have an attempt, if you have anything, I think any situation that you are in, you want to use this app, so that you put in your credentials and it tells you, okay, you can apply to this program, you can't apply to this, and you must pay attention to that. There are some programs who says they don't sponsor J1 visa. So if you don't have it, then that's gonna be a problem. So for example, with the visa, I'm a green card holder. So what I did was I tried to apply to programs that do not give do not sponsor the J1 and the other visa, so that I'm not competing with the general population. But if a program is sponsoring the J1 visa, then every student in the world that's applying for residency can apply for that program. And so the competition is going to be very high. So I applied mostly to programs that do not sponsor the J1 visa. Let's go to the next question. Um, um, Palama Allen, you have to download Instagram if you don't use Instagram, because that's where I'm mostly I mostly respond to messages from there, even better than emails. Yeah, but of course you can send me something on my WhatsApp. You are welcome. Let's see. So if you want to join the the live chat, you can join me. Just click on the link that I sent, and then I'll allow you into the chat room, and then we can hear your voice. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see the first question here. It says, so here's my first question. How do I get a visa for my clinical rotation? I think we can talk about that in a different video. This is a very sensitive topic, and I'm not an expert in getting visas, So yeah, I cannot advise you on this live. And So this is the app that I was talking about. It's called Match a Resident. You all want to write this down somewhere. If you're during your application, it helps you to save money. If I applied to 124 programs, and if it weren't for this app, I would have probably applied for more. So I was able to scale down on the number of programs I qualify for. Let's see next person. So, all right, thank you. But I have question regarding studying for it to score higher in second time. Yes, yes. So I've done several videos on this one. You can reach out to me, and if you have personal questions. But I've done a lot of videos on how to improve your scores and things that you can do, and it's helping a lot of people. And people like tell me how my suggestions are helpful to them. That's what is encouraging me to continue making this video. Okay, I'll be here. And so what pathway to use if I graduate? So you see, for the pathways, so go to the ECFMG website and look for pathways. There you will see all the pathways. You put in your credentials, and if you have registered for the exam already, your information is already in their system. So once you put your USMLE ID, it will show you a pathway that you are going to you have to use so that you can get ready for it. I hope that makes sense. So let me go back to my original thing, the things that you should be working on whilst prepping for USMLE, so that you don't spend all the time on only the exam, but at the same time you get ready for your for your residency application also. Fair enough. So, oh my God. So you're asking did you match? So it's a process, okay? If you understand the process, it is a process. Nobody has matched yet for this for 2023. The match will happen in March of 2023. You understand? In the month of March 2023, that's when everybody will find out whether they have matched or they haven't matched. So I haven't matched yet. So my experience is I've gone through the process, and we are at interviews now. We are doing interviews now. I've had one interview already. I need to do another one, and I got as I said earlier, I got a couple of programs. So it's gonna be some time. We are interviewing until in January. So after January, before we will know whether. Well, I think the rank list will come out, and then we'll rank, and then in March we find out. And so every step of the process, I try to update my followers, and also put it on YouTube in order to document it to help someone. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Can you match with no US clinical experience but have done housemanship and done a couple of? Yes, you can. I know people personally who have matched. You don't have to have a US clinical experience, but you have to have your faculty in your home country write a very good letter of recommendation for you in order to match. So you can match without a US clinical experience, but most programs want at least 3 months of US clinical experience. So if you have the chance, especially if you are living in the US, then you want the US clinical experience. But if you've done a house job in your country, then you're also on a good side, because you are a practicing independent physician already. Yeah. Next thing that you should be working on whilst prepping for step one and step two is let me see the next research and publications. So there are various ways you can join research groups. You can if you can also join maybe your faculty. You can join your school research programs and all that, so that you can have some publications and experience, and they also look at that. So that also helps. I know people who have 10 and above publications, some have one, some have six, and all that, because some programs are research oriented, And while some programs do not really care about research, I actually interviewed with one program, and then they said if you are someone who is looking for a research program, then that is not a program for you. They will say, no, this is not a program for you, and they are not going to accept you. So you have to know what you're looking for. If you want, most university programs are research programs. So if you're looking for that, then you want more publications. But experience in research will not hurt your chances for any program. It will only add to your chances. So it's something that you also want to work on. Also, you can also think about your personal statement. Very, very important. Personal statement is very important. You can start writing your personal statement, because you can have people read through it, correct your grammar and all that. Personal statement is basically what motivated you to become a doctor, and what you are doing currently and what you plan to do in the future. So you can start putting that down, and having people do additions and subtractions. So by the time you finish, you might even have about 6 months writing a very good personal statement. And when programs read it, that really attracts them, and then they see that, oh, this guy has a reason for choosing this program, and this guy has an really interest in this program. One advice that I give to that I've realized, I learned this from a program director as well. They are able to tell if you apply for surgery, you apply for internal medicine, you apply for family medicine, pediatric. It's like you're applying for everything. So programs are able to tell the number of programs that you applied for, or sorry, the number of specialties that you applied for. They're able to tell the number of specialties that you applied for. So for me, I applied for only internal medicine. But if you apply for several programs, then they are going to say, hey, this guy, is he interested in surgery? Is he interested in family medicine? Is he internal medicine? And then they'll give the spot to someone who is really interested in internal medicine alone, if that's what they're looking for. So that's one thing. So you can channel your personal statement towards the specialty that you are looking for. And then also you can be working on your dean's letter. Most, like for me, it was after my step two that when I started applying for the ERAS, before I got to know that I needed a dean's letter. So you want to start asking your school for the dean's letter ahead of time, or like they can get it ready and it's there in the school, or they can give it to you and you keep it. So I think the dean's letter, it should come from the school to ERAS, but you can have your school get it ready so that once you finish your exam, then you start the ERAS application, they would be able to submit it on your behalf. But if you wait until last minute, the dean's letter alone can delay your application and it wouldn't come on time. Most people couldn't submit their application on the first day of the submission, and because most people was because of the letters of recommendation. It's something that can really delay your process. So you want to start working on that as early as possible, because the programs, they look at like they use the first come first serve method, so that those who submitted their application on the 28th of September, they look at the application first before they go to those who applied on 29th. I submitted mine on 29th, the next day, because one of my letters of recommendation was there was a mistake. The doctor was uploading it, misspelled my name, so ECFMG did not, or errors did not apply that to my application. So I had to do it all over again. So these are some of the things that you should be looking at. Let's see next. When do you recommend to do observership? Just when you are studying for step 1, step 2. Most programs prefer a hands-on clinical experience versus observership. So if you are applying, you want to apply with the hands-on clinical experience versus observership. The observership is like you're just going to stand there and then you observe with your hands behind you and you're observing with they want someone who has done things with their hands, so that you have more experience. If there's no other questions, I just decided to take this time off to interact with you guys. And then I have an interview tomorrow morning. I just finished this meet and greet with one of the programs, the residents. And then I have an interview to do tomorrow. And I'll just take this time off to rest. And I wish you all the best, everybody. I wish all of you all the best. And I pray that you all get your desired scores and you match into a residency. Let's see. One question here: does the dean's letter has this to specify the scores during the clinical rotation? Because mine does not mention my scores. Definitely, it should. It should mention your scores that you got during your clinical rotations. Is the best, because then the dean's letter should also explain those scores, so that if they put in the scores, or people have different letters, people have different letters. Like there are some that say that, okay, you got maybe a pass, some say you were excellent, but the letter should explain what they mean by excellent, what mark you got to, what mark should someone get before they term the person as an excellent student, so the letter can explain that. There are some dean's letters that put like a bar graph in it, so they have different ways of writing. It should just make sense, and the dean's letter, for some schools you will not be able to see it. For some schools also you will see it and you upload it yourself. So some contain the score, but it should make sense. It should make sense. If there's someone in your school that has used that type of dean's letter to apply before and they matched, then it's good. But if yours is the prototype, then you want them to write it very well, and then you tell them what you want them to put on it. It should make sense. Okay, let's see another one here. I'm not sure if you answered similar question already. I just joined. I'm an IMG graduate more than years ago. I'm just prepping for step 2 now. What's your advice for me regarding residency? This is very broad. This is a very broad question right now, because you're just writing step and there are a lot of things. So in this video, what I was talking about is things that whilst you are studying for step 1, step 2, you should be getting ready. You should be getting them ready, so that during your residency application, they would have been ready before time for residency application. Doctors, so first of all, I talk about the pathways. Go to the ACFMG website and look at the pathways that you need to use and get the connections, and also get things ready. The amount, I think the price or the the cost is around $900. So you also have to know that and save money for that. You also connect with some residents some programs, so they can tell you about the programs, and also they can also recommend you if they know you. You can also work on your visa, your passport, your green card. All those things are very important. They want people who will stay in the country and work after residency, because the US government is paying for our training. So if you have a green card or a passport already, then it means that your chances of staying are high. But if you're on visa, then if the visa expires and then you're unable to extend it, then you have to leave and go to your country, and that's a waste to the government, you know. So if you get these things, it helps. Um, Letters of recommendation, you can start working towards that, and then finding doctors who will write them for you. US clinical experience or home country clinical experience, very important. I'll talk about research. I did talk about research also. A personal statement, you can start writing it, and I did talk about the dean's letter, also important. Now let's see the next question. How are the chances of getting externship? Externship. Yeah, what are the chances of getting externship? I mean, they are there. The programs are there. I think the chances are. It depends on where you are writing to. You need to ask people questions. You know, you need to ask people questions, because most students from Canada, no student from Canada, from Caribbean who come here for externship. So you have to ask the right people, ask people, join groups, and yeah. I think there is one. There was one in where was it? This was in Chicago that I know about. I can recommend. He's called Dr. Milenko. I've forgotten the hospital name. Is one. I think it's Jewish something hospital. Is this Swedish? Sorry, it's Swedish hospital in Chicago. It's one program that if you can find a doctor's number, you can email him. Doctor, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But if you can add me on Instagram, I can share his information with you, and then that is one program that you can go to. But for most people, it's the schools that they pay the school. I mean, it's part of their tuition, so the schools arrange for them. You know. Let's see this one. Good luck with your interview tomorrow. Thank you so much. Um, do you by any chance have any information regarding preventive medicine? I'm interested in that. I'm not specifically. No, I don't have specific information on preventative medicine. I'm sorry about that. So my Instagram is rolling under the screen. If you can see it, it's rolling under the screen. Jerry underscore 788. You can see that. Do you see that? It's rolling under the screen. If you see, let me know. And we are just going to end this video here. I need to go prep for tomorrow. Let me know if you see it. It's rolling on the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, okay, you see it. Okay, start prep. What do you mean by this? Start prep. Start step 1 for basics. I really want to do this, you know. It's just time after all this interview season. I'm going to see how I can do it, you know. It will really help a lot of people. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna end over here. Wish everybody all the best. Keep pushing. It's not that easy, but it's doable. I've been saying this, that when I started, like, I didn't know that I could um like get to this level today. You know, I didn't know. I thought the USMLE was so difficult, and I mean, of course, it's difficult, but with commitment, you can do it. I didn't know there'll be a day that I'll say I'm applying for residency. I didn't think that this day would ever come. I was just taking every day a time. So just keep pushing, everybody. Keep pushing, keep working hard, never give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, right now I'm going to start studying for step 3 as well. And if I clear, then all the load is off my shoulder. So thanks very much. I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye, everybody.